most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman.
What's up, brownies? I'm sorry that I'm not coming to you in a more bubbly mood, but this Mahogany Jackson case and situation is just really disturbing my soul. It's basically like Shanquella Robinson all over again, and we are going to have a serious conversation about what is going on with the state of Black womanhood. And I've already made several videos on it. I have several theories, and I've already started on this with my work on this platform. But I really want to encourage you all to please go to my website and begin to use the platform and the safe space that I have already built for you all, to where you don't have to worry about everything that you say. Somebody is going to come behind you and make Black woman bashing jokes. And it already has a social media component built in so that we can begin discussing and healing. Because at this point, it should be abundantly clear that the cavalry is not coming for Black women. So you are going to have to be your own cavalry and take care of yourself. And by finding your tribe on my website, it'll help you do that. So let's get into the video.
It's beyond disturbing, and it was an emotional day in court. Now, one of the saddest details I learned today is that Mahogany Jackson came to the first location thinking these people were her friends. Investigators say they then tortured her, and the things that were described are why Judge Keisha Davis says she denied all of these suspects a bond. Now, Birmingham Police Homicide Detective Mark Green says the first stop was the home of suspect Brandon Pope. Now, that's where Jackson was beaten outside while she was naked. Officers say some of the suspects beat her while others recorded the beatings. Now, Jackson was stomped and kicked, and then prosecutors say one of the suspects can be heard saying, "Put her in the trunk." And then she was dragged naked in the street. Now, Jackson was taken to a second location, and I want to warn you, this will be hard to hear. Prosecutors say Jackson was sexually assaulted at gunpoint. Officials say she was handcuffed, beaten, pistol whipped, and then spat on. Now, another sad thing we learned today was that the suspects wanted the password to Mahogany Jackson's phone. Officials say they even told her if she gave it to them, they would let her go, only to kill her anyway. Mahogany is being described by leaders like District Attorney Danny Carr as horrific and animalistic. On top of that, some of those things were recorded and they've been shared on social media. Something Carr says crosses the line.
She has to live with this forever. And there's some aspects of this situation I know that's devastating to that family. But then to see it reenacted on a video, it almost places you there. And then to see people continue to share it over and over. But at the end of the day, have some respect for them as well. Have some respect for the family. Have some respect for Mahogany.
You know, I remember last year when another violent incident that happened in Alabama made national news, with just one Black man being attacked by a group. Dozens of people ran to his aid, even swam to his aid. I even made merch to commemorate the incident for people to buy, and it's still up today on my platform. But I just wonder how many people are going to be this passionate about getting justice for this young woman. Or are we going to put certain parameters around Black women like we always do, how we pick and choose which ones are good enough or the perfect victims in order to even be considered a victim at all, and picking and choosing which Black women matter and which ones deserve protection and justice? I'm going to provide you all with some clips to show you how long it is that I've been saying that when we say protect Black women, we only mean protect some Black women, and we pick and choose which Black women are worthy of being called victims. And really, at this point, we need to just decenter toxicity altogether. But I also want to show you how long I've been talking about decenter men and a bunch of other things. But mainly, we need to get on code about how we treat and interact with each other so that we can teach other people how they are to treat us.
In retrospect, I am woman enough to recognize and agree that I was dead ass wrong for going in on Chloe's physical appearance. I was wrong. Whether y'all choose to believe me or not, it really did not come from an evil place. It's just sometimes you get in the comedic zone, you start going in on people, and you go in too hard. But I got a question for y'all. Now that I'm on my own shit and I can talk freely as I want to talk, why is it that when I went in on Chloe like that, I got the response that I got and to protect black women and all this type of stuff, but y'all will sit down and let me say whatever I want to say about Sexy Red, Sukiyana, or anybody that y'all don't like or who we deem as less than or ratchet? I have said far worse things and y'all laugh. And so with that being said, sometimes to the male persuasion, it makes this whole protect black women thing, it makes it feel performative at times because y'all pick and choose who we protect. We look at people as a society like Sexy Red and Sukiyana, and we just consider them non-desirables. So we really don't care what happens to them.
Now, this is black women mostly. Started a petition to make the parents comb Blue Ivy's hair. This is a toddler with natural hair that grows out of her scalp the same way that yours does. And yet you all put up a big stink about her hair as if you were equating it with her being abused in some way. I'll give you another example. You had someone like Gabby Douglas, a black girl who is an Olympian. And while she's winning the gold for her country, you all are dragging her because her edges weren't laid. She is achieving greatness and you all are stuck on her hair. See, when you played the Dozens as a kid, the jokes were literally about black phenotypes and black skin tones, right? Not to mention that the name of the Dozens is actually called Your Mama, not making fun of your daddy. Let that sink in. And mostly you're making fun of dark skin and short or kinky coily hair texture and things like that. You literally make blackness the punchline and the butt of the joke. And I think that has a lot to do with why you all were so comfortable with him dragging Paula. Bashing black women is America's new favorite pastime. It's replaced baseball. It's almost like the new porn. That's how much enjoyment people get out of demeaning black women and putting them in their place by taking the worst possible examples of black womanhood, putting that under a microscope, magnifying it, and then putting that out there in the media to stand as representation for the entirety of black women. There's a whole bunch of rituals that I think that are going on that are made to embarrass, black women and things of that nature. And what you'll notice is a lot of these videos that are out now are just using the title or the topic of Simone and Jonathan really just to make yet another video calling black women bitter and angry and mad and lonely and undesirable. So we don't need to add to that noise, and we certainly don't need to prove them right. This incident 1000% proves my point. So let's talk about the whole notion of Meg the Stallion is trying to have a Rihanna moment by wanting sympathy for being harmed. The correlation or connection between these two women is that they are both black women who are musical artists that were harmed or injured by black men who are musical artists that they had slept with. They are saying that Rihanna, when she was harmed, basically remained silent, didn't want to speak on it much, and didn't try to get much sympathy from it. She just wanted to basically take it on the chin, swallow it down, and move on. And in juxtaposition to that, Meg the Stallion wanted all of the sympathy in the world for it. One of the first things that we're going to have to do is stop revising history. They only spoke on their injuries or their situation in order to clear up a narrative, a false narrative that had been going on, or under extreme pressure from the public. And they both deserved sympathy for being victimized. So now anyone with a brain might be thinking, why would we be congratulating someone for suffering in silence and condemning someone for speaking out against injustice? The only reason is because they're black women. Black women are the only people on the planet that are not allowed to dislike mistreatment. or when someone harms you physically, emotionally, whatever, and you react to that, you're referred to as angry, the stereotypical angry black woman. What is she mad about now? What I'd like for you to know is to be bitter or to be angry as a result of mistreatment is actually, that's the appropriate emotion and reaction. It's just that black women aren't allowed to feel some type of way. And if you are, you better shut up about it. You definitely can't seek justice or be vocal about it. Black women are taught that they don't matter from a very young age when they are programmed to suffer in silence anytime they are the victims of SA or DV, particularly at the hands of black men. You are not to go to the hospital, and most certainly you're not allowed to call the police and get the law involved. Basically, what that's teaching you is it's okay for a man to harm you, but he shouldn't suffer the consequences of his actions. You are supposed to suffer in silence. And as it pertains to SA in particular, a lot of them, this is done to them at the hands of fathers, grandfathers, cousins, uncles, even members of the cloth and members of the church. It's so many of you who have to sit across the table from your abuser, whether it be at the church picnic or the family reunion or at, Thanksgiving dinner, because they are allowed to continue to exist within the family and within the community to victimize more people, but never be brought to justice for it. You're literally taught that you don't matter and what happens to you doesn't matter, which is why it's so easy to accept your position as America's work mule. Black women are expected to be both subhuman and superhuman at the same time as it pertains to your threshold for pain and long suffering. But you are never to use that strength or that ability to work hard to benefit yourself or defend yourself in any way. You are expected to be a doormat, a punching bag, a wet hole, and an ATM, and never complain about it. If women defend themselves in any way, it's, well, why did you hit him back? Or he has injuries too, so you're just as guilty. Or what did you do or say to him to make him harm you? I bet you it was that mouth, because black women always have a smart mouth, right? So basically just suffer in silence and go be a work mule. Eat this punch and then go make me some lunch. If all of your best Meg insults stem from her interactions with Tory, and all of the best Nikki insults stem from her attachment to her husband and her brother, if you all would just choose to de-center men, it would solve a lot of your problems. Meaning, stop making what men think and want and their opinions of you the center of all of your actions and reactions and thoughts. Make what is best for you and your self-care, your mental and physical health, the center of your thoughts. Notice I didn't say don't be in a relationship, don't need a man, don't want a man, don't be with a man. I want you to attack a man and bash him and troll him online like they do you, and an eye for an eye. I didn't say any of that, because to continue to do that would actually be still centering a man. You cannot dismantle the master's house with the master's tools. Worry about yourself. Put your own mask on first. And what I would also recommend is, after you save yourself, save or help or support another black woman. Because at the beginning, middle, and end of the day, it is going to take us helping each other in order to rise.
So you